Lavi, I appreciate you hopping on with me. I know you had a long day of dialing and training your guys, so I appreciate you hopping on. So we'll just hop right into it. First, just give us a rundown of who you are, what you do, and how long you've been doing it for now.
Yeah, my name's Lavi Simona. I work over here at the Playbook Agency. I sell life insurance. I've been doing it for around 7 to 8 months now, running on there.
Sweet. And before you joined Playbook, what were you doing and how much were you making a month?
Yeah, I used to be a college student. I used to go to college for business, a little bit of law too, in and out. And I used to work as a server at a restaurant. So I guess my average was 2,000 a month, 2,400 a month, around there.
Okay. And now, since being in Playbook for about 7 to 8 months, how much are you making now? Roughly. You don't
Uh,
need to tell the whole internet,
yeah,
but let's say ballpark.
Yeah, I recently just hit the rough ballpark. It was around $52,000 I deposited in March. Yeah.
Nice. So I know that before you joined Playbook, you had actually gone into life insurance briefly. Explain to everybody what side of the life insurance industry you were on, kind of the difference between that side of life insurance and what you're doing now, and then after that, kind of why you decided to transition to the brokerage world.
Yeah, I used to be captive. I used to work at a little three-letter company. Uh, what we did was it was basically the same thing we do here now, but resources were limited. We weren't allowed to sell in 50 states. The company specifically I used to work with, you had to be the upstanding health, and they gave me the worst leads. You didn't have control of your leads, control of your book of business. If I decided to retire or to leave the company, they would take everything I built along that as soon as I leave. I just really wanted ownership of my business, my book of business, and honestly, my income at the end of the day. And then when I switched from broker, I saw a world of opportunities. I own my book of business. My team does this well. I can sell to all 50 states. I'm not limited to one product, to one carrier. I can give the client the actual best thing they actually want and need. And yeah, it's been a life changing opportunity to come over to the brokerage world, specifically Playbook.
Yeah. And I guess that being said, what kind of had you initially think that being on the captive side of things wasn't going to work for you long term, or you didn't necessarily want to build on that side of the industry long term?
Well, it started off kind of rough for me. My first 2 months, I sold no policies. But then my third and fourth month, around there, I sold 72,000 in business. Uh, I only made around $8,000 in profit at all. That's all I made from 72,000. And then I just heard a lot of people just telling me, hey, if you do this in the brokerage world, you'll be making this, you'll be making that. And I've been hearing a lot about it as well. And obviously, the same things, the leads, the opportunity to sell for different states or different carriers, different products, different people. All of that just enticed me, and then I finally made the jump after that.
Gotcha. So then let's fast forward. You finally get into the brokerage world, you come to Playbook. Let's go back to your first 30 to 90 days in the business. What would you say was the biggest challenge for you personally in that first 30 to 90 days in the business?
I came here in life insurance in general. I came ready to make money. I came, expecting it all to work out my first 30, 90, 60 days. In reality, that's far from the truth, at least from me, respectfully. My first 30 days, like I mentioned, I sold nothing. My first 60 days, I sold nothing. And then I started to click once I realized it's always learning over earning. I stopped going after the money. I stopped going after, the client's pockets. I started going into actually what they needed, what they actually put the request for, the inquiry for. So after I realized that, it's always going to be learning over earning at first, and then the earning will just come along the way. So I would say that's what I would struggle with the most at the beginning.
Okay, so I love that you said that because that's actually one of my favorite things that we preach here. Dive a little bit deeper into what that actually means. Learning before earning.
Okay. You're gonna ask me a question or just keep going?
Yeah, dive into what that like really means. Learning
Okay.
before earning and the importance of that.
Okay. So for me, the learning over earning aspect really is probably one of the most essential things I say to new agents, to even older agents when they start building out their team as well. Not everybody's going to have a quick start. We can see a lot of people having quick starts. Some will make 20,000 their first month. Some will make 10,000. Some will make, even 5,000 for me, which was good at that point. And I came with that mentality that I needed to earn right now. My back was against the wall. That's what most people, when they join a different industry, their back is against the wall. But what's important about life insurance is this is a business. This isn't just quick cash. This isn't something you can come in, make quick money, and then leave. You can do that, yes, but you can't do that with the right resources, the right knowledge. You can't. That's why it's most important for most agents. I'd say all agents, realistically, you need to know what you're talking about. You need to know what to do. You need to know how to respectfully handle the ups and downs of the businesses. In all reality, this business can either make you or break you. I've seen it break hundreds of people. I've seen it make dozens of people. The margins are very, very scarce right now. But learning over earning is probably the most important lesson you can ever preach to any sort of person in life insurance business, or I would say in any business realistically, but in this one specifically is what I've seen the most.
Yeah, I'd say especially with the way that the internet is shifting and everybody's showing pretty much like with any business model nowadays seemingly overnight success because all of these people who we see making a ton of money online, I mean, bro, they were grinding months, years, and then finally it all takes off and now they're posting on social media so then people see it and they're like, wow, I need to get into something where I'm making money seemingly overnight. I need to make money in my first 30 days. Where
Yeah.
for most of us, that's not how this went. I know for me, I didn't sell a single policy for 7 days. And I was like, damn, like this is rough. But I knew it's one of those things where if you just stick with it, I sit there, I call the guy who brought me into the business every single night. I just actually focus on the inputs and getting better at the skill, the money would come. So I'd say that that's extremely important. So that being said, as a new guy who's looking at life insurance, maybe you see it on Instagram Reels because of course it's blowing up right now. What would you say the biggest misconception you heard before getting into the industry was, and now after being in after being in the industry, how would you say it differs from what you believed prior?
This one might be a little different than most people would say, but I would say make your own hours. I heard a lot about working from home, make your own hours. You can just choose whenever you want to work. And I mean, if you've been in life insurance, it's completely the opposite. We work 12, 14, 16-hour days most days of the week, if not all days of the week. I'd say that's probably the biggest misconception that can actually break a lot of agents in the beginning, to be quite honest.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I feel like that's also partially the active agent's fault for setting expectations poorly when a new guy reaches out to them. Because I know personally, at this point, with how many calls I've gotten on with people interested in our business, that one of the first things I'm setting expectations for is like, hey, bro, our biggest thing is culture and standards in our agency, and the standard is we're working bare minimum 12 hours. Like, and
Mhm.
you're a guy that's in our Austin office right now. Talk to us a little bit about the standard there and how people will look at you if you're leaving the office before 9 o'clock.
Well, it's simple. Everybody gets there. I'd say from around 8:30 to 9. Everybody should be settled in, and it's straight away hitting the phones after our morning call, morning team meeting, training. Straight away hitting the phones. It's from 9 a.m. Central Standard Time until I would say most agents go to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. But obviously, there's those dogs in them that can go up to 11, 12, 1 a.m., right?
Yeah.
So, but I would say the standard there is usually 9 to 9, basically. Yeah.
Gotcha. And as somebody who's now, especially as of recently, bro, you've had a few 30K weeks back to back in written business. Obviously, a little bit different, just so nobody at home thinks that that's
Yeah.
straight deposits. That's written business. So that
Yeah.
after first premium, obviously it's a little bit lower, but 30K written business is no easy feat. So as somebody that's writing minimum, bare minimum, like 20K a week now, what
Yeah.
does your schedule look like day to day from the moment you wake up till the moment you go to bed?
Yeah. Uh, my schedule as a producer and also as a team leader, I would say it's a little bit congested right now. I wake up around 7 a.m. right now just to make sure I get everything done before I even go into the office. I take a couple morning calls with some of my guys. I make sure I set up my lead structures, my CRMs, and my admin is set in place to handle any book of business. So I would say from 7 a.m. I would say until bare minimum 11:30 every night p.m. You can ask anybody in my life; they do not see me. That's straight calls. That's all.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And what would you say? I think one thing that the people who mentor us especially harp on, and they do a really good job of it, is that I think a lot of guys, when they first start, their expectation is, okay, I'm going to work a lot at the beginning. Like everybody's telling me I'm going to be dialing the phones 12, 14 hours a day. And that's going to buy me back my freedom in 3, 4, 5 months when I start building a team. Obviously, we both know that's not true. Your time is just used differently. So talk a little bit about that, of how your your time management shifts a little bit different, going from straight producing to now managing a team doing over 200K a month now.
Yeah, it's a little different as a producer as well. I would much rather, obviously, have time for both, but you do have to kind of prioritize one or the other sometimes. It's still something I'm learning to cope with, but for my $30,000 weeks, whatnot, my record weeks and whatnot, I do have to prioritize those weeks as a producer rather than as a team leader. But the good thing is, I do have people I can leverage on. Our mentors always mention leverage, leverage, leverage. So when I do decide I just need to focus on producing right now, my time goes straight into that. And then when I decide I can do a solid 15K, 20K week, just nothing too much, nothing that will drain me out. I do also focus on the team as well, the team side of that. So I can help them grow as much as I can still make sure I'm not relying on them for my only source of income.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, and I know we're mentioning like our mentors a lot, our culture, our structure, our standards. I'd say one of, if not the most important thing in life insurance is actually what agency you end up working with. So, based off of your results, our agency's results versus everyone else you see selling insurance online and the way they structure their agencies and their results, what do you think separates us from everybody else out there?
Okay. That's actually I love answering this question whenever anybody asks me. We are in the best agency in the entire United States when it comes to life insurance. And us specifically, we're in the best sub agency and under the best agency and under the best IMO and life insurance itself. It goes Playbook and WealthWave. We're right there. We're the number one growing without a shadow of a doubt. Without these standards that we have, our average top 10 wrote bare minimum $50,000 in personal production last month. It's only going to keep going up. The standards are going to keep going up. There is not a single person even over the age of 30 on that leaderboard. Not that it matters too much, but it just shows you how hungry people are. Young kids coming out straight from high school, college, and, quitting jobs just to go straight into this. Leaderboards, standards, everything matters. It's what drives a sales culture and it's what drives growth in a business at the end of the day. So I would say this is by far the best sales industry, sales company, sales agency team I've ever been a part of, and I will ever be a part of. I can say that full chest.
I love that. I love that, bro. Yeah, I think one thing I brag on, because obviously, dude, the numbers speak for themselves. I was actually just talking to a friend about this last night. It kind of blows my mind just like looking at the industry, looking at people coming in, and the way I see it is just extremely logical. Like, let's say I'm the I'm one of the best football players in the entire country coming out of high school. I'm gonna want to go to the best team in college. And why is that? I want to win a national championship. So for me, is like, why would I want to go anywhere else if playbook, if these guys are writing more than anyone in the entire country? Our number one guy is the number one guy in the entire country in FFL, which is
Yeah.
now, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I think over 8,000 agents now. So for me, it's just super logical. But then there's also the culture aspect. I brag on that to everybody. I mean, bro, we have daily training calls with people producing. If you don't know what producing means, it means just selling. Guys selling minimum 70K a month, guys and girls. We've got a girl on the leaderboards who is consistently over the last 14 months been in the top 10 in our agency. Um, Doing training calls every single day. And to kind of spin back on what we were talking about, in the office, nobody's working less than 12 hours a day. If you have guys on Discord, same thing. Like, we have the best agency in the country, bar none. And I will say that, and I will die on that ledge. But to kind of wrap it up here, Lavi, who would you recommend this opportunity to, and who is life insurance not for?
I'd recommend this for anybody needing it. I'd say anybody that needs a change, anybody that actually wants to make a change. And then I would not recommend it to people who think they want it but actually don't want it. They don't do what it takes, or they've never done what it takes. Simple as that.
Sweet. And we'll wrap it up here. In the past, say 8 months, you've been fortunate enough to now be at the point in your business where, let's say, you're roughly making around $50,000 a month. Where do you see yourself in the next 6 months, and where do you see your team in the next 6 months?
In the next 6 months, I'd say we're bare minimum doing 1.1, 1.2 million a month. And myself having at least five other guys making 30 to 50,000 a month.
I love that, bro. I love that. Well, bro, I appreciate you hopping on. I know that it's about midnight where you're at right now. If somebody wants to find you on social media, where can they find you?
LAVY.Simona Instagram. That's all you need.
Sweet, bro.